must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
I will begin with a short statement on the topic. 1. Cliffhanger politics occurs when the left hits the right hits the center hits the north hits the south. The state of confusion over taxation in this Republic of Kenya leaves a lot to be desired. From 2013, the MPs that were in Parliament at that time passed a budget, recommended that budget, and said the 16% levy would come into effect in 2013. But later on, they decided to push the date to 2018. President Uhuru Kenyatta took over a government that had obligations, both local and international. In international obligations, he had to continue to service the date that the government of President Kibaki had. Of course, with the continuation of assembling and making sure that the Constitution of 2010 works effectively, the president had to embark on a budget that could see cementing the rule of law through constitutionalism, making sure that all the institutions of the world, that the world wants, are working and working in Kenya. It is therefore very important to understand the root causes of the current taxation saga that continues to haunt and create cliffhanger politics into this nation. The 11th Parliament passed the budget. The 12th Parliament today found the budget and the tax levy had already been passed. For all these years, from 2013 to 2018, there are several oversight committees in Parliament, committees of finance, committees of budget, committees of all legal and other apparatus that work up in a democracy. Why did they look at this as very important taxation that had been shelved by the Minister of Finance? It is therefore very prudent and very important for the people of this country to understand, and the rest of the world to understand, that the international obligations and the factors that run around international agencies that lend in money, that support our programs in Africa, they come with conditions that you must fulfill before the sustenance of such grants or loans or whatever help they are giving to the nations in Africa. It is very important, therefore, to learn that behind all this, there is what we call cliffhanger politics. The politics that seeks to victimize. The politics that seeks to push a person to the wall. The politics that seeks to cause a state of despondency where the masses could turn against the president of republic of any country in Africa. These factors could be coming from both internal and external forces that are hidden, that would like to collapse the systems and replace the systems with their own likings. It is therefore very important for the people of Africa to watch out for such maneuvers, such Machiavellian systems of operation. Machiavellian in the sense that they planted the story, they orchestrate the script, they write the script, they tell, they engineer, they sit down and discuss the formula on how to weaken a government. One of the things disturbing Machiavellian politicians or cliffhanger politicians is what is it that it was in the handshake. It is this handshake that has pained even those who were moderate, who turn around to become hardliners. It is this handshake, the question of redemption, seeking redemption, that people are querying. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is inside it? The government therefore should move fast to make sure that they put it out in the 9-point program that we see, so that it is among the people that the terms of reference of all this is thrown to the people to make their own judgment. The second reason why cliffhanger politics works, or why people create cliffhanger politics, is to confuse the main item. What is the main item of Kenyans today? The main item of Kenyans is to fight corruption. Since President Uhuru Kenyatta declared that he will fight corruption through a lifestyle audit, there has been a sense of cliffhanger politics, direction of cliffhanging, of taking us to almost falling and then coming back. These are called diversionary tactics in political science. Tactics that take your enemy or your friend, or even tactics that can take a country into a bad direction, keep it there, bring it back, manipulate it, so that the main issue of corruption is not discussed. These are cardinal points that people must look at when you are fixing your mind on the current political, economic, social mechanisms that are operating on the state of Republic of Kenya. Like in Zimbabwe today, the cliffhanger politics has entered the same style of cliffhanger politics of Machiavellian. Boycott, don't come, come in later. Oppose, don't oppose, come in later. That is the way cliffhanger politics works. Any student of political science will know that those who seek to grab power through dubious means to cause despondency first go by causing a state of despondence by making sure that the masses hate the leadership. President Uhuru Kenyatta, as a shepherd, must strike the shepherd. As the owner of the sheep, must strike the shepherd once for all. Strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa TV, broadcasting all the way from the Republic of Kenya in Nairobi and in London and elsewhere in Spain, elsewhere in the world, wherever you are. Good morning. With me in the studio to take you through the next 2 hours will be none other than the German lady. And a good morning those watching us from our Germany satellite. We want to thank you very much. Last night you picked the earthquake in Spain. Having a satellite system is the best you can ever talk about. All television stations in Kenya, none of them, except Daily Nation, after I had actually alerted the Daily Nation. But it came to our satellite. We picked it through the German station. And we were the first people. If you can go on my Facebook, you'll find, or the Facebook of Punchline TV, you'll find me broadcasting as the thing was shaking. The tremor was taking place. And that is it. But I have wondered why the entire Kenyan media are just waking up this morning and they are just saying about it. The whole citizen didn't say anything.
Last night?
Last night they didn't.
They all did, I think, at 9 p.m. news.
The thing took place not 9.
Earlier.
The thing took place, I know exact time, when it clicked was actually 7:47.
Yeah. But at
and
9...
immediately I was working on my PC preparing for this program this morning.
Yes.
And I started trembling. I thought I was shaking the tables.
You trembled?
Yes.
It was that bad?
Because it was shaking.
How's it
the whole building.
Yes.
And I had to call my security guy and to say what is going on here out. He was also trembling. So we wanted to see whether there was any damage coming. And I immediately switched on the television, my Punchline system. I said, we are in here. There is a tremor that has just passed through Nairobi. And it could, because there were so many signals coming from very important agencies, alerting agencies, very powerful agencies that alert. And these agencies were saying, look here, tell people in Mombasa, in Kilifi, and all those surrounding areas near the Indian Ocean, there could be some sort of any backlash from the trauma that had just struck in Spain. If you look at the photographs, the satellite photograph I picked from our station, from Bahrain, it has flattened houses in Spain, and that platonic movement which comes down all the way, it passes from Spain through Sahara, it comes all, you can see it coming up to Indian Ocean. I was more worried about anything coming from the tsunami, and more so it had hit the areas of Sumatra Island and Indonesia. You see, that is one, I don't like to hear any tsunami coming from Indonesia. It comes in a bad way. So I was more worried about our people at the coast, ourselves, and I took very serious precautions. Good morning.
You took very serious precautions?
Oh, yes.
What did you
including precautions to go to see whether I can be on a flat area without being in the building. I went outside in the compound, in the car, out there in the car park, until about late in the evening. Very late. You take precautions.
Yes.
You don't sit in the house.
Yeah.
When a house shook the way it shook. So if this type of house where I was, which I believe it was well constructed, was able to shake the way it did. What about a house that has been built illegally in this town or anywhere in this town? It could come down. So you don't sleep and wait. I had to take military precaution, and I was waiting, either in the balcony, in case there are any other things. You get your ropes and get out militarily.
Okay.
And then it can find you, or you can be rescued.
On a safety ground.
Yes, on a safety ground. So thank you very much, Miriam. Apart from that, today we are going to look at, Miriam will look at the African news headlines. then we come on what can we do in Turkana, in the Northwest. We have talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked since 1963. We have talked about Turkana, the Northwest, the Northeast, the same arid areas. Today, we want solutions. We are not going to be here as Africans watch one part of our population being eaten by hunger, by drought. We want solutions. What makes this area not workable? That's what I'm going to tackle today. Get a pen, a paper. If you're a civil servant, if you're a politician, if you are anybody who does Red Cross, get a pen and listen to me. I'm going to bring in things that you have never heard about and the solution today. I've been doing a very thorough research and I'm going to be practical. Those who might hate me, hate me. Those who would like me because of what I'm going to propose, like me. I'm not bothered anymore. And I'm going to say it as it is. Because time has come for us to say as it is. We can't wear suits, have Range Rovers, have V8s, have several women in houses, governors, when our people are dying and you come on television telling us that this is not anything that we need an explanation. We need solutions. Not you telling us that the national government has not done enough, or this has not done enough. The governor saying that this was that you see, you looked at the governor in checkpoint, very vast. People very fast wearing shoes, open shoes, latest style in Nairobi. People are dying at home. You find them cutting deals with ministers in restaurants. What do they do with these ministers? Are they also stealing money again at night? So I am going to be very honest. After your news headlines,
yes,
I'm going to be brutal.
We need to be candid.
No, brutal. Candid is...
Brutally honest.
Okay. That's the word I was looking for. We want to seek solutions for these regions. Surely, we cannot be talking day in, day out, year in, year in. This man called Goulet is all the time, every year shouting, oh, money, money, money. He's my friend. He has done a very good job. He respects me. But now here, we are going to take other direction. We must find a solution. Kenya must find a solution. If some countries can find a solution, what about Kenya? Is it in sheer scale of negligence?
A country like Ethiopia, remember? Before.
Don't worry. Keep it. Keep it. We don't, ma'am, we don't want to finish the good thing.
Okay.
Let me give you time and a chance. Over to you, Miriam, the German lady, for the great news from African continent. And the viewers in Abazonia, I just need to greet you before Miriam starts. Good morning in Abazonia Ground Zero. We are not given up yet, and we shall not give up. The collision of the willing has finally formed itself, and we are coming for Mr. Beer. We must come for Mr. Beer to understand that you are there as human beings. You need to be respected, given freedom, liberties that they enjoy in other Western capitals and in other African states. Thank you very much, viewers on Ground Zero, those watching us on our satellite channel 003 and the channel 002 Thank you. Those watching us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Live. And what else? Do we have another one? There are so many.
Yes, indeed. And one of our viewers, Paul Ndedu, you're asking, is Punchline no longer on YouTube? I think we should be on YouTube. And if you're not yet, I think our production will do something about it immediately. We
had problems with YouTube. I think somebody wanted, some people tried to hack our
YouTube
account and either take our photographs or use them. But I think the YouTube people noticed that and they put it on hold. I will ask the production team later on to find out why it is not working. And I want to ask Stephen, wherever you are watching us, tell us which account now can be used, because we need to give it to people now. And we shall be talking the next other part about corruption in Africa. Has corruption eaten Africa? Those talking about Nigeria, get prepared. If you are from Nigeria, Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano, Maiduguri, all those areas, the river states, talk to us. Keep your answers on your tips. The phones are here for calling. Today is here. Call us. Skype, we don't. Skype, yes. Call us, yes. We shall take your calls. We want to hear about your corruption index. How far? How long? How little do you have to put on your plate because of corruption in Africa?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Miriam.
Yes.
Germany.
Yes,
Madam.
And just before I get into my African stories, Abdulaziz, you're saying these images are disturbing, please avoid them. They are disturbing, and also I believe they're very dehumanizing, but Abdulaziz, somehow we have to raise awareness and really show the rest of the Kenyans and indeed the world what is happening in these parts of the country, and indeed how the leadership in these counties and indeed the country as a whole has failed some of the citizens of these countries. So please bear with us. Good morning to you. Good afternoon, good evening. It is Monday, 25th March 2019, and this is the latest from Africa this morning, and we start with Kenya, where a science teacher from rural Kenya, who gives away most of his salary to support poorer pupils, has won $1 million US, equivalent to 100 million Kenya shillings, for the world's best teacher. Peter Tabichi, a member of the Franciscan religious order, won the 2019 Global Teacher Prize. We go to Mozambique, where reported scores more deaths on Saturday from a cyclone floods around southern Africa that have killed at least 732 people, left thousands in desperate need of help, and many on them still on rooftops and trees. So the deaths are still being recorded even after the aftermath of the cyclone that happened in some parts of southern Africa. We go to Gabon, and President Ali Bongo Ondimba flew home to Gabon on Saturday after several months in Morocco recovering from illness. He flew back in Libreville on Saturday afternoon, accompanied by his wife Sylvia, to be welcomed by Prime Minister Julien Konge Bekele and senior members of the government. We go to Comoros, where polls opened on Sunday in Comoros presidential election. Incumbent President Azil Assoumani is widely expected to win another term. Tensions were high in the mainly Muslim Indian Ocean archipelago. They were exasperated last year by a referendum that gave Assoumani sweeping powers. The opposition boycotted the vote. Go to Mali, where government has banned the group of hunters it says was behind an attack which left more than 130 villagers killed. And in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the United States Department of Treasury has issued new sanctions against 3 officials of the Democratic Republic of Congo Electoral Commission, CENI. These sanctions relate to the 2-year delay in holding general elections originally scheduled in 2016. It comes a month after a visa ban was announced against the same officials and other high-profile members of former President Joseph Kabila's government. And also we receive another news, 27 Cameroon officials to be banned from the United States. So I think this is the latest measures the United States is taking in terms of trying to bring President Biya's government in account. So that is the latest we're receiving from Cameroon. And still in Cameroon, the authorities in Cameroon say kidnappers have released an entire football team that was kidnapped on Wednesday. And in Chad, security forces in Chad say at least 23 soldiers have been killed by Boko Haram jihadists, one of the deadliest such attacks in the country. The attack occurred in Dangdala near Lake Chad, an area where Boko Haram is very active. And in Sudan, a section of South Sudan civil society is lobbying Juba to take advantage of the newfound rapport with Khartoum to finalize the border demarcation that has been pending since 2005 comprehensive peace agreement. And in Rwanda, judicial authorities on Friday sentenced 13 people to 5 years and 2 others to 10 years in jail after convicting them of belonging to extremist groups, including Al-Shabaab and Islamic State, and providing them with support. And we go to Morocco, where several thousand Moroccan teachers staged a protest in the capital, Rabat, hours after police dispersed an earlier demonstration on Sunday. They were demanding permanent contracts, better working conditions, as well as protesting against the rising cost of living. And in Uganda, Ugandan's Parliament Speaker Rebecca Kadaga over the weekend flew into Nairobi for treatment. Ms. Kadaga had been admitted last Thursday at the Nakasero Hospital in Kampala, where she said to have been receiving treatment for fatigue-related illness. But right now, she's receiving the treatment in Nairobi. And finally, the United States has criticized the East African community's human rights record, accusing the member states of violations last year. The Department of State's Human Rights Country report released separately on March 13th cited violations in individual, civil and political rights. So that is the latest this morning from across the continent. I am Miriam Mugutu. Good morning.
Good morning, Miriam Ogutu. Thank you very much for precise, direct, to the point. 27 Cameroonians officials. You see, our fruits are beginning to come. The results. The world is seeing. Thank you very much. 27 Cameroonian officials, top beer officials, will not be traveling to the America at all. The list will be coming shortly, and we shall bring it up to you. This is a struggle. Keep it on until Biya realizes there is need to change his strategy. One of the things that has taken my heart this morning is the teacher, and I want that photograph of the teacher to be brought.
Yes. Right,
standing with the Minister of Education, Madam Amina Mohammed. After they had, I think, production, can you bring that picture, please? As soon as he got this $1 million reward.
But he did the other day. Ms. Mohammed, she's not the Minister of CS for Education now.
She is. Because the Minister of Education has not been sworn in.
She's acting.
Yes, she is. She's not acting. She is still the Minister of Education.
So Education and Sports.
And the Sports.
Okay.
So until Magoha, is sworn in by the President.
Yes.
There you are.
Lovely.
Amina and Mr. the teacher.
Yes.
In Dubai.
Peter Tambiji.
Peter Tambiji.
Yes.
Of Consolata.
Yes.
Fathers and what is Consolata? Is it
Franciscan? Consolata is the sisters.
The sisters.
Franciscan, yes.
These are the fathers of the other opposite of the sisters. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. You know why I want to talk about this teacher is the way the teacher was able to save money, which most of us do, but we don't get that publicity. Some of us, as we sit here, educate several students in this country, which we don't talk about. But there is one remarkable thing that this teacher, Peter Tambiji, did. The students themselves called the media. stories started going around. The media picked her up, him up. Said the teacher, he got his salary, he goes through the classes, and looks for...
He uses 80% of his salary.
Yeah, he looks for the poor people.
The needy.
And then he says, what is your father's work? Yes. Your mother's work? Yes. I can't come to school. Do you know, I want to ask, how many Kenyans really, and let's be honest, how many Kenyans can do that? How many Kenyans can sacrifice their salary?
Not so many, but I think there are others who do it, but quietly.
Yes, but that's why I said it took a different angle.
Yes.
All of us do it. Some of us, I have students, I've never seen two of them. One is in Kisumu, another one is in Muranga. I've never seen them. But I deal with...
The institutions there in the schools?
No, with the NGO. Okay. The NGO comes to me and gets a check. I have one student somewhere nearby. I get a check of 11,000 every term.
So you've never seen them?
I've seen one. Okay. But the other ones, I've seen the pictures.
Do you know how they perform?
Yes.
Okay.
The reports are sent. That's very good work. We don't want to say it. If you can give in something small, that's all right. But it brings us to the big elephant in the house, which is linked to this. Such a good act in Kenya is rare.
It's very rare.
Let's admit.
The level of kindness. Even.
The level of kindness for the man to leave his everything is very rare. It's a question now, where did we lose it? Where did we lose it? How many Peters can we raise in this country? How many Peters can we raise who can help not only to be shown in churches, not only to stand in churches and pour money and talk politics? How many Peters can we raise? How many people eat this money, have this money, even store it in their houses, and yet you see other people dying of hunger? How many Peters do we have?
And even by the time it's going out there to assist the students who are needy sometimes, you'll find there's money like CDF that is really meant to help such cases in different counties and different constituencies in this country, but never goes to the people who deserve it. So for people like Peter to come in really and fill in this gap is really commendable. Very commendable, Miriam. And it has moved me this morning to say this is the type of spirit, this is the type of patriotism that we need to have. We need many of the type of Peters. We need many of you in Kenya, please, to wake up, to help, to come and help the ordinary wananchi. They are suffering. People are suffering. People are dying. People want help. Instead, we have statements coming from leaders contradicting. Some are saying there's hunger, there's no hunger, there's nobody dead, there's nobody this, there's no this. Dr. Batanga, when politics comes to tries to get into such matters like what is happening in Turkana, you wonder where is the, where is it off that really we shouldn't bring politics? People are dying, period. Can you find solutions? We don't have to politicize everything in this country. And I think that is the problem. It's like they're making political scores. We don't need that, especially at the expense of people's lives. That is the teacher welcomed back at his home. Nakuru. May God help him to nurture many more. Let this rise many other people. Help the nearest person that you can afford to help. Yes. Don't also help yourself at them when you can't help yourself. Spare something small for yourself, because you might also need it. That teacher is an inspirational, should be a hero. This is the person that we should emulate in Africa. True. But unfortunately, Miriam, I want to be candid. You wanted me to be candid today. Brutal what? Brutally honest.
Brutally honest.
Yes.
Here we support thieves.
Unfortunately.
We clap for thieves. In fact, if you are not a thief in Africa,
it's weird.
It's weird. If you are not a thief in Kenya, you can't be called it. You are Jogo.
It's like you don't even qualify for public service.
Yes, you can't. I have seen the number of people attacking me on this social media because I stand for against corruption. As soon as I write my statement on the social media, they say you are attacking so and so. Look, I am not interested. And neither will I be bowed down or brought down. Whether you can frame me, frame. But I will go on exposing the thieves. You need to be a thief in Africa to be respected. Every younger man you see on the media, you know, you need to steal millions. Why do we build you see, there's one man on TV this morning who asked one question. Is Dr. Njoro, the deputy governor of Kiambu? Thank you very much, Dr. Njoro. I think, is it, yes, Ndoro or Njoro, yes. He said, why do you build too many dams that produce nothing? Why don't you build one major dam like Ethiopia did?
Yeah. That
will produce cheap electricity. Look for a place where you can pile all that water in the mouth escarpment.
Yes.
And a big dam that can even supply ripples up to Mombasa.
It's possible.
Power will be in Mombasa, power will be in Wajir, power. That guy raised so many. And then he said, after you have built the dam, what next? What will you do with the water if it is full? And after the water is full, what do you do next? And the next, and the next. Thank you very much, Deputy Governor.
Yes, but you see that we can't just have one dam. We need so many of them so that these people can find avenues to eat.
No.
Because that is the common enterprise.
I understand.
They can't agree to
I understand.
These are just white elephants.
I understand what you are saying. Now, I thought you were saying, no, I agree with you, Miriam. Yes. They have several dams in order to have a lot.
Let's bring one to our county so that we're able
bring one to our county.
We're able to steal from there. Yes.
But one major dam in Ethiopia today has changed lives.
It has.
There was a trouble between Ethiopia and Egypt over the waters that could affect Aswan Dam. Look at Aswan Dam. It's only one dam. But don't we get rice from Egypt?
Yeah.
Don't we import rice from Egypt? Or doesn't Egypt sell us rice?
Rice and fruits.
And the fruits and so many things. Aswan Dam. So if we build one major dam, it could maybe give us the biggest output in terms of electricity, cheap electricity, that goes down, so on and so forth. Maybe people will come in and say the terrain in Kenya does not allow the dams to be built in one single place or a dam. But that is all, as you said, is for eating purposes.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
One of our viewers here is asking us the latest from Mozambique. You're called Jamok Michael Posimo, and you're asking what is going on in Mozambique and any updates about the cyclone. Well, right now 732 people have been recorded dead in Mozambique, and of course thousands are in desperate and need help right now, and the people still stuck on rooftops and trees. And of course on Saturday they experienced more death after the aftermath of the cyclone, and of course the floods are still rampant and many people have been left homeless. That is the latest. Jamok, and thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Mr. Jomoko said he lost $100,000 in Kenya because of corruption.
He imported flour.
He imported flour The customs and the Kenya Revenue Authority seized his flour and sold it to a Lebanese.
I'm so sorry.
We are very sorry, but can you?
Goodness.
We don't want. We are here to help. If you can send us those documents,
details,
details of who, when, how the flour was imported, the ship.
Can you believe?
The ship, the consignee, the consignor.
Please send us the details.
Send us the details on my website, on my email, africastrategy@hotmail.com.
Yes, africastrategy@hotmail.com.
At hotmail.com.
Jamal, please
send those details.
Yes.
And that could be a major scandal. We are looking for such scandals. Send them to us. If you are really genuine that you lost your $100,000 worth of flour, Mr. Jamok Michael Posimo, you must be coming from South Sudan.
Possibly, yeah.
Yes, no, the name is Posimo, South Sudan. I have been in that area. I know the morphology of some of the names.
Right.
If you lost,
please.
You see? Yes, it is South Sudan.
Can you
please?
Yes.
Can you send those ones?
Repeat for him the email address.
We repeat the email is africastrategy@hotmail.com. Attention to Dr. Matanga. We want to look into how you lost this flour.
and Kwang here is asking Dr. Matanga and Miriam, what mathematical problem can be solved using such constructions? I think the many dams.
The many dams. We don't know.
They're not solving anything. It's just a cash cow.
There is a cash cow.
So they use it to just enrich themselves. That's why they cannot. If really it was for the greater good of this country, then maybe the way you're suggesting one good dam like what Ethiopia did, that would have been. And sometimes I wonder who is the advisor.
I think there is another guy called Andrew Kowech. I don't know where you get your name to bring the name of we are not naming people here who are corrupt. We haven't named anybody's name. And please don't bring us your cheap politics on our television. We haven't named anybody, have we? And have you seen what Kowech is saying that prove that Andrew Kowech.
Andrew Kowech, good morning. and thank you for joining us this morning. And Lamine Conte, good morning as well. All right, Jamok says he'll get in touch with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Andrew Kowech, please.
Yes.
Let's do that name. We don't want you to bring it on our TV. We haven't named anybody.
We
are only talking about the corruption, the lack of water in Turkana, the bad behaviors, the good signs of patriotism done by the Nakuru teacher.
Yes.
That is it. Kowech, where do you fit? Or you are just there to shout about a name? Why do you always name this person? How much do you know about him? And how much do you know about corruption in Kenya? So don't associate us. Don't bring us to seek sympathy from us. Seek sympathy from ye where you steal from. Not us, isn't it?
Okay, Abdi Samad, good morning to you. Saying it's still snowing in Oslo. That is the effect of climate change. Right now it's supposed to be spring, I think, and we still have snow towards the end of March. It's very interesting. And Marcel Samora Diofrikio saying Matanga, the major natural calamity in entire Africa is the leadership. Until the African people decide to take up things into their own hands to change the leadership, we will still die. Africa Youth too today have gone too docile to take up the fight. You see, history has major great nations were changed by youth standing up and saying enough is enough. But this youth of today, they have completely lost hope. You see African youth kill each other. And do you remember when President Uhuru Kenyatta appointed, former Vice President Mudi Awori in one of these, a chairman of one of these corporations, and the youth came out saying, no, why are you appointing this old man to head something that relates to the youth? And President Uhuru Kenyatta's response was, these young people have given work. What have they done? They've only been stealing from this country. So when one of our viewers raises such a point about the youths of Africa, especially just taking a backseat position and being very passive when it comes to the leadership and the politics of
the man who was just given the money, his salary for these students,
is a young man.
Is a younger man.
Yes.
Ask this Kowech. and others who talk about people, who praise people.
Let's just say good morning to Koyesh and just...
Yes, no, but no, yes. Don't allow such people to bring... Miriam,
yes.
When you are on this TV, yes. At times we don't want to argue with people.
But we don't have
but don't bring us the names that we are not talking about.
Yes.
You see, you know, when you bring such a name, they have their agenda. They want you to start talking about it. But we are sorry.
Now you took the bait.
No, I am not taking the bait. I'm telling him, and he has agreed he's gone. If he wants to come back, yes. Let's move on. We don't have much time.
Yes.
Let's move on. The newspapers in Kenya are very, well, do I say Miriam talked about
yes.
The pacifiers. Newspapers in Kenya, the Daily Nation in Kenya said Ruto takes on Raila amid calls to resign. We don't want to go into those details.
But maybe we should go into those details because now that is in the newspaper. We are not.
We are not manufacturing.
We are not manufacturing.
I don't know why there is this.
But why can't just Ruto talk to the president himself? Because that is his partner at Jubilee. Why did Raila come to? Why is it that it's perceived that Raila came to break Jubilee? He should sit down with his core, leader in Jubilee and say, okay, so what is the problem? Let's find a problem from the inside. Somebody cannot come from outside and break the party. Let him sit with the president himself. So sometimes I believe when he attacks Raila like that, he's trying to just take Raila's name and replace it with Uhuru. I think that is the person he's trying to address, and Ruto should just address the president directly.
Do you know what they call Machiavellian politics? You know it. You know Machiavellian politics. That's it. They summarize it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, Ruto has Machiavellian politics. He plays it. He plays it. This problem can be solved by him picking a phone
and talking
and seeking an audience with the president. Why are they coming in public, creating tension, getting people annoyed, targeting people, framing people, and isolating people and grouping people, profiling people? This is not very good for Kenya again. Jamen, this started like this in 2007.
Ruto, just speak to the president. You are the vice president of the Republic of Kenya. Can you please talk to the president of the Republic of Kenya and find out what is ailing Jubilee Party, and then see how you can find solutions moving forward? I think scapegoatism and things like that. It's like people back to politics, be it in the opposition, be it in Jubilee.
Yeah, they are.
All the week, it's just politics now. We are back to election mode.
The president has tried to tell them.
He contained them for 2 weeks.
No, he can't contain them.
He gave a warning. It lasted only 2 weeks.
The president can't contain them when the president is also equally containing the ministers.
He has too much fires to put out.
Yes, he has too much fire to put up. The president tells us, Kiyungiri, Pakam, Namibia. Surely, this Kiyungiri, don't you, what is his other name? The Minister of Agriculture. Can I ask the Minister of Agriculture to resign?
Mwangi,
Kiyungiri, can you just go away? Because there is nothing that, if I were him, if I were the minister, the president has talked about my non-performance for a long time. I would pick a handbag and write a letter of resignation and go back home. Unless this thing, the ministry has something you are eating, which you don't want to leave. But me, Matanga, you talk about me like this in the public too many times. I go home. I go home. I can't stand behind you there. You tell me every day that I'm the problem. No. Kiyungiri also should have some sense of the brain.
But do they really?
No, they don't. That's That's why I'm wondering. I'm asking you.
And even sense of morality.
I'm asking you as a Kenyan.
I remember one time one of the CSs right now, his name was Amos Kimunyi.
Amos Kimunyi.
The treasurer, it was the CS for Treasury at that time. And there's a lot of things that were happening, and it could be seen that he had failed being the position that he held at that time. And I remember him coming very strongly, and he said, you know, I'd rather die than resign. So that is the attitude of some of these people, civil servants, and when you put them in place, they'd rather die than take responsibility.
That guy came to Parliament, and Mr. Mwangi Kinjuri said, there is no money that is lost in NCPB. A few months passed, money was lost. And they still walking near the president. Can you see? Don't you have some sense of... I like it, maybe because half of my age.
But why is the president...
I've been in Britain.
Why is the president walking with such a person?
First of all, before you got the president.
No, why is the president walking with such a person?
Miriam, let's start with the person yourself. If I go on, you work here, I'm the boss. And I go on telling you, this is not worth it. This is not worth it. The next thing, Miriam, you'll do, you'll go. Don't forget, you have a right to fire me if you think really. No, I can only be telling you in order to allow you. You can only speak as much, but in order to allow you, yes, Miriam, to allow you to improve. But and if you don't improve, then you have a problem. Then you have a right to give me leave. Maybe if I'm not improving. Maybe where President Uhuru Kenyatta is going, he cannot escape this, President Maybe Kenyatta. Where is heading is he wanted to show to the public that surely I did not victimize somebody for nothing. I have finally taken the step. But how far it will be. You know, I was watching some people, again, let me tell you the story. Not a long story. I was watching K24 this morning. These three presenters, Sarah, another lady, and the presenter gentleman, Jeffrey, is it Jeffrey or who, and another lady. These ladies were, the three of them said, no, we are fed up, like you. You said no. That we are fed up with what the president, we don't want to hear. We can't keep making excuses for him now. We cannot. We refuse to. We will not, Mr. President, take action as the head of the state of the Republic of Kenya. Yes. I wanted Miriam to say it, not to me. No more excuses. We're not cutting the president is my friend. I know. Therefore, as Miriam said, I'm speaking as a Kenyan, Mr. President. I am a friend, and I will keep to that level that I will write it to you and tell you quietly. Yeah, I'll just tell you. But Miriam was telling us that the deputy president should pick a phone and call you. And call the president. Can somebody come to your house and break your marriage if one of you has not allowed? No. Yes. So you can't keep coming here. Ruto all the time is walking around. Can we have that discussion this afternoon on Unfiltered? I think Miriam needs unfiltered so that we can have an argument. Don't forget bringing that this afternoon. It's exhausting. No, let's bring it. Talking about the politics of this country sometimes is really exhausting. It is. Have you now found out how some of us have grown old? I don't know how you do it, but I have grown old because since 2010, I've been talking about the Kenyan politics and how to help my friends in Kenya from the ICC up to today. I've been there. And Miriam, it is really bad, especially when you are doing a voluntary. It is good when you are earning a living with a huge contract. Wanakupatia contract kubwa hao mzuri. Ndio hata kama unakupiga matopi unarudi nyumbani unasipu wanukabia. But when you are struggling voluntarily from 2010 saying this is what we want, this is wrong, you are taking wrong people to the ICC, bring it back, let's go here. NGOs came for me. There is a time when I had to hide in one of these hotels that I don't go out. Because every NGO was saying he's here. Because of what happened in 2018. It is slowly building. You are going back to that level. You have a point. Mr. President, pick up a phone. Pick up a call from the deputy. Isn't it? That's the call we can say. Let the deputy also pick a phone.
And if that marriage is not holding, please let us know. We cannot...
no, if the marriage is not holding...
You cannot keep doing that
take a step.
At the expense of Kenyans. We will not allow that to happen.
Yes, take a step.
If it's not holding, let us know as a country.
Yes, take a step.
I think the government owes us that.
Yeah, take a step. MPs plot for life in 5-star. Have you seen this? As if this is not enough.
This, I read this in the morning and I was disgusted as a Kenyan. Let me just read it for our viewers this morning. The headline says in the Standard newspaper, one of the leading newspaper in Kenya, and they're saying MPs plot for life in 5-star hotels. So this is what they're saying. Each member of parliament enjoys about 20 million Kenya shillings mortgage for a city home, but they now want the taxpayer to pay them more to live in hotels while in Nairobi. Can you imagine? And they want accommodation allowance to keep them comfortable in the city, setting up a gymnasium to keep away from the pot bellies, vetting of cooks to ensure MPs eat 5-star meals, a gift shop to spend their hefty packs purchasing presents, employment of a public health specialist in parliament. How selfish can these people be while a Kenyan somewhere has not even seen water for 3 weeks for drinking?
That's the
you want to live in a 5-star hotel and have a home in Nairobi.
Those are your MPs for you.
We get the leaders we deserve, I guess.
Yes, those are MPs. There's one, I was listening to the MPs again this morning, and they were saying they need to eat good food in order to talk well.
Shame on them.
There you are. Kenyan teacher earns bags 100 million for unmatched generosity. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Kibaki.
I'm happy that the Standard gave him the headlines.
Yes, no, that is what they should have put it here.
Exactly. And
yes, but here they have also shown something very good. Yes. That as the MPs are eating, there are people dying. Yeah, there are people who are dying. Oh my God!
They want to be living in 5-star hotels, while there are countries in this school where kids still sit down on trees, under trees, and on stones to learn. And these are the leaders that we sent in Parliament to take care, to make sure that we achieve equality in education, in health system, and in public service. I am really disappointed as a Kenyan this morning.
It hasn't come again. By afternoon, you will be more.
I'm disappointed.
If you read this, the Star newspaper, Rotich ignored my advice on dams.
It's former Attorney General.
Yes, he has said it. I saw him somewhere, and I said, "Hello, you have brought trouble again." He says, "No, they refused." Mr. President, take this opportunity to sweep this cabinet with overwhelming evidence that the government advice was rejected because some people wanted to run this money quickly and come back and tell us these are letter of guarantee. You know that politics of letter of business, yes. The cheap business which we started long time ago. Some of us heard about letter of guarantee, I think in 1980s. 70. 71, not 79, I heard about the letter of guarantee in Binaisa's government. When Binaisa was calling for letters of guarantee, I was by then a younger man working in the diplomatic and the political and diplomatic affairs of the Uganda National Liberation Front. And then we used to go to State House in Entebbe, and at times we sit there waiting for the president. Then he could come out and then tell us, can you tell the minister to bring a letter of guarantee or credit, letter of credit? That's what Binaisa used to do. He solved these problems there in State House in Entebbe. So most of us, I learned what is this guarantee letter. This. So I saw this letter of guarantee again in 2019. There is a letter that guarantees money that later on goes to buy towels. So surely, which insurance company will pay when they have physically known you went and bought even your car, your own car? Okay, Miriam, your own car is knocked. You are supposed to go to the police to show it is not you deliberately doing it, so that the insurance company can say the car was knocked by this car, and this is the damage, this is the photograph, this is the OB, occurrence book, reference number. Now, before an insurance company gives you a claim, it has to look at all the factors. So if it finds out that you neglected, you intentionally diverted the money, well, the banks can guarantee and pay. But I don't know whether we have banks that work for free.
They collude with the banks.
Okay.
They collude with insurance firms. Quangos.
Monkey business.
Yes, they collude.
The monkey business. Monkey.
So it's possible. In Kenya,
by the way, talk about the monkey. Where is the Minister of Interior?
The super minister here.
We have not heard from Dr. Matiang'i of late.
Well, he spoke shortly about the hunger situation in
yes,
Kenya,
we are trying to see Dr. Matiang'i come back to... some of us love him when he comes to speak about Quangos and the no monkey business. Actually, when he's... you know what? You have reminded me of something. When he said, no monkey business and the Quangos, that problem of the police uniform was solved.
Oh, it disappeared.
Have you seen the cartels complaining again?
We'd rather just leave our policemen with the uniform they have. They look smart anyway.
No, that is your opinion. But there are other people who say all other countries have different colors. Nigeria, Uganda has black.
That blue they were bringing us
You only
from
don't
China.
like China.
I just don't like that blue. It's terrible.
Let's move on. But the problem, the point here we are talking, Honorable Matiang'i, you are missed. Dr. Fred Matiang'i, we miss you in the press. Come back. You only did a good job when you said, when you saw cartels coming. You said, I'm not going to accept it.
But sometimes being quiet like that is good. That means he's busy working. Sometimes being in the media...
No, he's going to bring an earthquake.
Yes.
Talk about the earthquake yesterday. You did not talk about it.
I thought you talked about it.
Oh, we had forgotten.
No, you mentioned it in the beginning of the show.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay.
And you went out for safety, right?
Yes, and yes. So guide me so that... Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Matiang'i. We need you back. To start working so that you solve us this impasse.
That is
the chief, DCI, our mouths are full of saliva. Yes, we want to see somebody in court.
He said soon some people will be arraigned in court. He's just through with his...
yes, thank you very much.
Because, you know, the loophole that the judiciary use sometimes is the DPP, the DCI, they don't bring him a very watertight case in court. So
this time we have narrowed it
to two. We need them to do
one or two people.
Yes.
Yes. 1 or 2 people. Let them were carried across.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. That is very good. And... I don't know. I don't know how the president looks like. The president, I don't know. When you wake up in the morning and you see this, and then you see the judiciary, the Chief Justice got scared of going to Garissa today.
The who? The Chief Justice. He was supposed to go to Garissa to do what?
To open up a court and see the project.
And he's scared because?
You don't know? What was the governor? The governor of Garissa was what? That ruling, was it governor of Wajir or Garissa?
Wajir.
Wajir, where there was a controversy. But
it's engulfing the two.
The Chief Justice is
the two high court.
Maybe they are working on the... Apparently, have you seen the trend? that everybody who is being arrested, named by JSC, is going to the DCI. Did you see that? Another judge is going to the DCI.
Oh, apart from the two?
No, they don't want A.
Okay.
What they have discovered, there is a trick by the thing you said yesterday, the politics, to fix them.
Succession politics.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there you are. We've lost it.
So now I still want to know why the Chief Justice is afraid of going to Garissa.
They will boo him.
He's not a politician. He's going to the courts.
They will boo him.
Okay.
Boss, Mama, mina kwambia what is there.
Yes.
They will boo him there.
Okay.
I don't know whether you know it or not, but they will boo him. If he went there, the way the ruling he did in Wanji next door.
He was not part of that, was he?
No, he distanced himself. He made a ruling which is contrary to the other four who have landed in chaos. Do you remember?
Yes.
So they will boo him. And the two, he has a lot of, I think he's preparing a resignation paper.
That will take a while. That will take another year. Yes. So, yeah, and of course they have these charges they're fighting. So let's just wait how that will play out between them and JSC.
Okay.
And him being the chair of JSC, I don't know how that will even work, but hey. Keep waiting. And just before we jump to today's question, the topic we have about corruption and how much it has eaten into Africa.
We shall push that topic. We now want to deal with Karamoja. You forget. Sorry, we want to deal with solutions for Turkana.
For Turkana, yes.
Yes, and then we can, in fact, part of the solutions form part of the corruption. So let's mix it that way.
Let's just mix it that way.
We have top of the hour, 7 minutes past. You wanted to say something?
Yes, something I read during the African news stories, and of course the U.S. Department of Treasury has issued new sanctions against 3 officials of the Democratic Republic of Congo Electoral Commission, being that they delayed having elections that was scheduled in 2016. How was the Electoral Commission supposed to hold elections in 2016 if the government was not going to allow it to happen, the government of President Kabila? Is the United States right on issuing this sanction against the Electoral Commission in the DRC?
Some breaking news, very dangerous. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Some news coming in now is one of the petitioners who filed a case at the Judicial Service Commission against 4 Supreme Court judges now wants the petition withdrawn. Mohammed Sheikh has filed a notice of withdrawal that sought to remove of 4 court judges. The petition says he wishes to withdraw the petition that he filed earlier this month, wholly voluntarily and without any. The petitioner prays for the withdrawal of the petition dated 13th March 20, and in regard of avowments therein states Sheikh somebody. I told you people were working behind the scenes.
So people are working, so he really has not withdrawn it from
Yes, they were working. Mr. Orengo also from your place. Siaya, Senator. This one you like it. Orengo wishes to institute an impeachment motion for the Deputy President William Ruto.
And why would I like that?
He says DP is always at the center when corruption cases are mentioned. What? These are news coming in to us now. Kenyan news keep on changing like the weather itself. Is there anything that we can move?
Yeah, I think I asked you a question and there was a breaking news and you didn't get
What was the question?
I'm saying the United States Department of Treasury issued a new sanctions towards the Electoral Commission members in Democratic Republic of Congo, saying that they delayed to hold the elections in 2016. Remember, the elections were supposed to happen in 2016. So my question was, of course, the former President Kabila did not want the elections to happen at that time. So is the U.S. right to hold the electoral commissions responsible for the delay in the elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo?
No. that is an influence. The problem of that Democratic Republic of Congo elections is the US paid money. So they are also they are accountable.
They have a stake.
They have a stake. So the answer is yes.
Okay, so they have a right to...
They will put sanctions because their money was not accounted for.
Okay.
They feel they played. If Africa holds its money, its election without these guys, that would be not a problem.
All right.
All right. I want to move to the most serious topic of the day. Have you heard of a man from New York says he came to Kenya and obtained a land lease to cultivate marijuana?
Who is that?
It is in the news, breaking news, in the Business Daily of Kenya. A New York-based company has just claimed that it obtained 500 acres of land in Kenya, bringing it to a global debate of making marijuana out of control of narcotics. But it's going to grow in a note to GOIP Global Insurance, which is listed in OTC markets in New York. It told its shareholders that it has secured a permit to grow the stimulant on a 500-acre plot in Kenya.
Which part of Kenya is that? I'm
going on. After visiting Kenya and a meeting with officials in the country. Have you seen?
Which officials?
Officials in the country. I'm very excited about the prospects. Of course, officials who deal with land. You can't meet anybody else except land and the finance.
And the people who are selling the land.
And the people who are selling the land.
Yes.
The lease term will be for 25 years. And the Kenya, being on the equator, provides the basic conditions for all year-round production, the statement adds.
Well, that is, but you know, also marijuana has a lot of medicinal value when really it does have.
Yeah, that's it for the people from the lake, yes.
Not from the lake, even out there.
No, the lake.
In the US.
The lake, I know of people who use it for medicine, yes. So I want to speak what I know.
Okay.
The others, I hate anyone who smokes.
Me too, I can't stand it. But,
yes. So
I don't hate people who smoke.
I hate.
I just hate the thing.
I hate. In fact, when I find you with a cigarette, I hate the cigarette and add the person.
I don't hate the person. I just don't like the smell of
then you can
marijuana.
He can smoke and come and sleep near you?
No.
Okay. Then what I'm telling you is the truth. That is a New York farm. That is the paper from the Business Daily today. You know, I have asked a cardinal question. He smokes then comes to sleep near you? Not me. Even if you have diamonds on you, that coming near me, I will take part of the diamond and have them in my pocket. No.
Okay.
Yes.
To each their own, so.
No. The things must be talked to openly in Africa, Jamen.
Yes.
You can't, smoking, killing your lungs. You are killing yourself.
But you know, marijuana really doesn't kill your lungs. It's the cigarette.
Where does it go? It is even the most poisonous.
It just makes you high.
It is the most poisonous because that smoke has to go in. You are killing yourself. Then you come and talk to me that you are the best man around. I don't want to see you.
Okay.
One of my workers here, why we never liked each other, I told him I hate you.
Oh.
Yes, I'm very sincere.
You say it like that?
Me, if I see something on you,
yes,
Miriam, I will tell you.
You'll tell me you hate me?
Yeah, I hate you and you go.
Hate is a very strong word. You could hate what I'm doing.
No. I have told you don't smoke.
Yes.
You 5 days in a week, you come only 2 days. So why don't I hate you? And then I'm paying you the wages as they are. I would hate you. Because I know the disease which is making you not come the other 3 days.
Oh, okay. It was affecting their
and you are telling me, calling me from your house, oh, mzee leo niko na kifua. This is a smoke.
Yes. Yeah.
Smoke. And this person was my best friend. I told him I have had enough. You go. Go your way, man. Go ye.
Go to the rehab, maybe.
Rehab for what? Am I the one to tell you? Go and ask your relative to take you to the rehab.
Dr.
Not me. No, honestly.
Yes.
Why do you smoke yourself down? No, Miriam, tell me. You have a son, you have grown, a daughter you have brought up slowly, and then the daughter comes to you saying, I'm smoking, so go and die. Me, David, go. I don't want to see you. And if I find that you have died because of that smoke, I swear on the burial day I don't come. You don't know me.
You're so drastic.
Maybe you don't know me. You better know me. There are certain things. That's why I'm battle-hardened. I don't care. You try me, and you try to malice me. I am bad. That's why you saw me.
Marcel Samori saying, Matanga, respect the international hub. Marijuana is medicinal on controlled use. Uncontrolled use. You
Marcelo, you go and do it, not me. Mr. Marceno, I am not interested in
Marcel, yes.
In marijuana. I don't want to know
yes.
anything to do with cigarettes that kills your lungs. You are not my friend. And
Jamoki saying he's from Biafra, not South Sudan, by the way.
Thank you very much. Send the now it is even better. I will work on your paperwork. I hope you have sent it quickly.
Yes.
Don't hesitate, man.
And yes, and maybe before we go to we come to the topic, the very important topic we want to talk about. Maybe we take a very short break and then we come back.
Okay, fine.
We sip some water, and please keep writing to us and let us know where you're watching us from. We don't want to confuse things here, and the way Jamok, you've made it clear you're coming from Biafra, that's very nice to know. So let us know where you're watching us from, and is there any news out there you want us to know and share with the world, we'll be happy to do that. So please don't go too far. We'll be back in a very short bit.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you very much, viewers. Welcome back to Punchline Africa second part. It is 19 minutes past 10 in Germany, 19 minutes past 12 in Nairobi. The topic, pacification of northern Kenya. We shall combine it with corruption. Why corruption has eaten Africa. People are suffering of famine, hunger is killing people in the continent, but there is plenty of food. What is the problem in the northeastern and the northwestern Kenya? I want to reveal to you one thing today. That one thing is security. All these factors of water, hunger, food, infrastructure, there is one obstacle that has put northwestern and northeastern Kenya under the scope of all the natural calamities and the artificial calamities. That scope is one, security. People might wonder why I'm saying pacification of northeastern and northwestern Kenya. Those watching me, government officials in Kenya, I want you to take notes. I want to ask you one question. Why is it that in Karamoja, the other part of West Pokot, and the other part of Turkana, the two Karamojongs today in Uganda are digging, farming, growing crops under the same conditions of dry, same arid land, but they are doing productive work that involves keeping the animals, keeping their customs, and there is no problem at all. I want to be candid on this subject, that if Kenya wants to resolve this problem once for all, the people of Kenya, the government of Republic of Kenya, must take a stand and take on the warlords who make it very difficult for the boreholes, for the transportation of these goods, commodities to that region. The problems that that region faces today will only come to an end if the question of security is addressed. There is no way, whether you go to Jupiter, whether you go to Venice, whether you go to Mars and return to Earth, that you will solve the problem of Turkana, West Pokot, Baringo, Northeast, West Eastern, those Mandera and other areas where there is insecurity and where is the sense of nomadism, nomadic democracy, without sorting the security of those areas. I want to stand and use the example of President Museveni of Uganda. President Museveni, as you are aware, most of us in the whole of this region were used to cattle rustling. The cattle rustling menace that had plagued Uganda from Acholi, Lango, Soroti, Mbale, and the neighbors Turkana and the West Pokot is no more. There are no more Karamojongs coming into Uganda or Kenya to steal cows. And there are no more Turkanas, maybe they are there, or West Pokot going into Uganda, because you go there at your own risk to take any of the cows of the people of Uganda. President Museveni has taken a step, and I would like to ask the people of Kenya to emulate the example, to benchmark what Museveni did right on the other side of the border. Why this Governor Nanok and another governor of West Pokot can cross over into Uganda and have all the food, eat, drink, make merry, without any plate fired in the air. And as soon as they cross from Uganda into their territory, they will need heavy escorts to take them to their headquarters. A normal government, like the government of Republic of Kenya and the security agencies, should sit down now, emulate the example of what President Museveni has done in Karamoja, to change the lives of the people who were once nomadic, who were once cattle rustlers, who were once warriors, have become productive section of our country. East African community entails that culture for integration to take place. We cannot watch one part of Africa having food while the other part of Africa has no food. It is high time the people of Kenya and the government of Kenya picked up the example and the experts and borrowed the leaf from the people of Uganda to find out what the government of Uganda did to make sure that the Karamojongs and our people, my countrymen called Karamojongs, are now part and parcel of the country called Uganda, united, growing carrots, cabbage, onions, rice, matoke, and other things that used not to grow in the same arid region of Karamoja. Viewers, this topic is specifically for the people of Kenya to understand that time in, time out, year in, year in, out. From 1963, the people of Kenya have been talking about this problem of Karamoja, of Turkana, of the same arid areas. Each person, each government, successive government has brought solution to solution. Plans, 5-year plans, 10-year development plans, 250 years, 30 years. Where are we? We are still in the same catchment. When you look at what is happening on the ground today in Karamoja, and compare what is happening today in Turkana, your tears fall, yet they speak the same language. Yet they have the same culture. Yes, they have the same customs. Yet they have the same land. Yet all the areas lie in the same rainfall catchment. Why has it taken the Uganda government to formidably take a position and turn Karamoja, once a hostile area, to become a darling that Karamoja today exports, or what we can call exports food to Kampala, because it used to have a temporary border where we say you are exporting, you are taking food. 30 years ago, lorries and trucks used to take this terrain, the roads into Karamoja, to deliver relief food to the Karamojongs. The type of hunger and the pictures that you see on Kenyan TV today are similar to the pictures that we saw in Uganda 30 years ago. Uganda and Kenya are the same part and the parcel of the state of East Africa. The security agencies in Kenya can copy and can sit down with the Ugandan security agencies more so in hard conditions like the ones coming now, to find out what best can be done, what best the Ugandan authorities have done in order to contain the menace and bring about a productive society. The barriers of why Turkana remains as it is today is also partly the customs. And we should address this and the security matter. It is also true that in Turkana, there are people owning guns illegally up to today. It is also a fact that they are marauding cattle rustlers, bandits who come and rustle cattle, take cows for sale to the cheaper market that arrives in Dagoret corner. The type of meat that we eat in the meat joints in Nairobi, if you ask why the meat is cheaper in Nairobi than it is in London, which is imported, the type of meat that is eaten in Nairobi is 300 per kilo, while a kilo in London costs like 12 pounds. Why is the meat in Nairobi cheap when Argentina meat is even more expensive, which is imported? The meat in Nairobi is cheap because it is stolen. By who? By the cattle rustlers. And these cattle rustlers sell this meat in the markets. The last market on this line, if you stand there as a security agent, round it up, you will find all the animals that are sold in Dagoretti corner on the train. Why don't we take a step? Why doesn't the government of Kenya take a step to finish this problem once for all? To finish the question of security? Because I've seen everybody coming to the same thing. The Minister Wamalwa says we have enough food, but we don't have security and transport infrastructure to reach there. What makes it difficult to have infrastructure? Security. What makes it difficult to complete the well? Security. 3 years ago or 5 years ago, Kenyans contributed almost 1 billion shillings to the Red Cross. The Red Cross, I was shocked yesterday when the Red Cross operations manager told us that the well, one of the wells cannot be completed because of insecurity. The well between the Turkana and the Pokot could not be completed because of insecurity. It touched me so much that I felt today I should discuss and tell you point blank that the situation of Turkana and the West Pokot can best be solved the Ugandan way. The way President Museveni told the Karamojongs that anyone who has a gun, I give you 30 days to bring the gun. If within 30 days the gun is not here, the Uganda People's Defense Forces moved in to look for it. And I want to assure you how they move in. I don't want to tell you more details than what you know, the battle-hardened boys of Uganda People's Defense Forces. They moved in They combed every area. People started surrendering the guns. Even people went to tell the soldiers where the guns are dug in polythene paper with oil, 50,000, 10,000, 5, 250. By the end of the exercise, President Museveni had collected over 750,000 guns back to Kampala. You like it, you don't like it, that's the truth. Whoever family was left with, those who did not indicate where the guns were, started indicating where the remnants are. In exchange of that, His Excellency the President of Uganda himself picked his own wife, not Kinjuri, not these other ones. You know why? There are certain things where people have criticized Museveni for having picked his own wife. But do you know why he picked his own wife? Because he wanted to get the exact, you know, he knew the money was going to be eaten. Believe me or not, he chose his own wife and said, go and supervise. You are the first lady of the house, but take your office to Moroto, which is the capital city of Karamoja region. Sit there, dig boreholes, dig wells, create small dams, quick moving dams where cows can go. If you go to Karamoja today, those dams are there, and you Kenyans can actually copy from those quick dams where there is water. Karamoja has water down a catchment. There is Turkana, the biggest water basin, which can be turned, not the lake, the ones down where you can drill and make a river flow and the cows can drink. We can do it. The world can do it. Ugandans did it. Why can't we do it to save our people from this starvation that we see every day? Why? Viewers, I leave it to you. As I promised Miriam that I will speak candidly, I hope I've spoken. I've said candidly, and I'm going to say it. There is no other solution to the question of Turkana and the West Pokot other than a security solution for people to return the guns so that the Chinese, the contractors, the French, whoever wants to contract, so that that oil can one day move. And I'm just warning you, predicting this, so that that oil can one day move. Let the Kenyan authorities listen to me. Clean that area. Take the guns away from the people. Whichever way you use, let the human rights or other people complain, but let there be return of guns to the rightful owners. That is the government, the Ministry of Interior, that gives out guns, but not guns to remain in isolated areas where the governor of a place cannot himself reach there. You are aware that the governor of Turkana cannot even reach some areas. Himself, he admitted yesterday. Because there's no infrastructure, there is insecurity. I saw the picture of one farmer in Samburu, a lady moving with cows and goats 60 miles, looking for water, which could have been got if her area was surveyed and they found there is water down, drill a borehole that could give animals some drinking water. But because of insecurity, because of the fear of cattle rustlers, of the bandits that come to take the cows and kill people, come as far as the area of Erengoya Marakwet, down to Baringo, Kapedo Valley. If we clean that area, the area of that country, that part of the world, will make a legacy for President Uhuru Kenyatta. The only solution that Kenyans need to do is to emulate, to get benchmark lessons from the Uganda government on how they were able to seriously contain Karamoja, to turn it into a food growing area when it was a war zone. Viewers, I leave it to that. And now invite Miriam, if you have any questions to me, and I need specifically serious questions.
All right, serious questions.
Thank you.
And I think you've mentioned very important points there, and indeed security really contributes majorly to what is happening right now in that part of the country. But also, we had just before Turkana and the famine in Turkana and Baringo and Pokot and started happening, there used to be a very bad situation and starvation in Ukambani in the 90s. And it used to be the place where all the help, all the food, all the water, was taken to early in the 90s. So what has the leadership of Ukambani done? What has the governor of Makueni done in his county? What is the governor of Kitui done in his county that has saved the people from the humiliation of starvation, from the humiliation of famine? And for every year, people have to come in and they're dying of hunger and things like that. Something had to change, and the leadership in Ukambani had to change. And that used to happen before now we're dealing with Turkana. It used to be Ukambani that was starving, but now it's not so much, because the leadership of that that place, that part in Kenya, really sat down and put a structured way of dealing with the famine and a long-term solution. So we don't get to hear of people dying from hunger and starvation in Ukambani. So what is happening now in places like Turkana, Pokot, and the 12 counties that have been affected by this famine and the starvation that they are facing right now, and of course some Kenyans have lost their lives due to lack of food. We have to, outside of the security, which I think is very paramount. Even one of our viewers here has raised a very pertinent question, and they're saying, is it really the lack of security that is making Turkana people to face what they're facing right now?
Yes.
And
yes.
Also,
Miriam,
yes.
Have you finished asking? Yes. And I'm going to ask to tell you, and I want to convince this guy that it is the security issue, insecurity, that has created a multiple factors that are coordinated. If you don't have security, you can't dig a road.
But
you cannot talk about rain, which is a natural phenomenon.
Yes.
Drought is natural.
Yes.
But if you don't have mitigating factors, how do you mitigate drought? You must access the place. How do you access the place when there is no security?
Yes.
Two, how do you dig the infrastructure when there is no security?
There's no security, yes.
How many of these Chinese can control themselves to dig a road up to Lodwar?
Well, they don't have the security provided, and I said your point is valid, but also I'm also speaking from the history we had in this country. Ukambani used to have the same problem. The leadership there solved the starvation that was happening and the famine that was happening in Ukambani. It used to be food that was being taken to Ukambani. We don't hear of that anymore. Makueni governor has, we even have industries now in Makueni. Leadership.
Okay, I agree with you, Miriam. Leadership, but don't forget, Makueni and Kitui, they border
each other.
An insecurity place.
And
Isiolo, the other part of Isiolo and other district, as there was a lot, towards the end of Kitui and Makueni.
Yes.
They are Somalis.
Yes.
Somali nomadic animals used to come down as far as Kitui and Makueni to create
Which is
to look
true.
for pasture.
Yes.
They created insecurity. The people did not farm, did not concentrate on farming.
Yes.
People, that's why food was being sent.
Because naturally the areas don't receive enough rainfall as compared to the other parts of the country.
Yes.
And please let me make my point. And here's the thing. We see a place like Mount Elgon, some militia groups started forming, and the government dealt with that. You don't hear of those people who are trying to cause insecurity in Mount Elgon region. The government came very strong and dealt with that. At the coast, remember the militia also that was trying to say a coast is not in Kenya, Pwani is Kenya. The government came very strong and dealt with those with the militia group at the coast. Even right now, they're causing a bit of insecurity here and there, but the government came very strongly and dealt with that. So why can't the government come very strongly? Because this is not cattle rustling anymore. These are thugs. These are criminals who are killing people, who are
The government also, I agree with you. The government also came tough on Maasai. The Maasai people who used to do cattle rustling.
And last year
today they are doing a different
Yes,
type of
and last year we were seeing a report
Yes.
that one of the major TV stations ran an investigative piece, and it appears the leadership in this, especially the local leadership, aid the Pokot, aid the Turkana, provide them with the weapons and things like that. So these are things we have to look at, because how can just a normal, how do I even know how to get a gun from? Somebody. A local person in the village down in Turkana, somebody somewhere is providing these people with those things. So those are the issues we need to talk about as well. And also what is happening right now, I think it's also the lack of leadership and the willingness of the leadership from that place, and even the national government to some extent, to really find lasting solutions to Turkana and the famine that is happening. And it is a great thing, us as Kenyans coming together and helping our fellow Kenyans. And I think Kenyans already, we've seen over the weekend, even some celebrities and things like that trying to take food there, and some politicians, and even Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko, I think he headed there with some food. But until how long are we going to continue to do this? Can we find a lasting solution? What happened to the boreholes that were supposed to be drilled in Ukambani? That is the one thing that the leadership in Ukambani has done. They've made sure at least they've increased the number of boreholes, and there are people able to access water, because that used to be a major problem in Ukambani. So what can be done in Turkana, and these are the 12 counties that are prone, that do not receive their weather conditions is not very favorable, especially when it comes to agriculture. What other ways can we make sure that they're provided for? What other businesses can they engage, even if they're not able to farm, but they're able to buy foods where they're in the shops? They're able to, their economy is able to be sustained in other ways. We have to find lasting solutions outside of the insecurity that contributes majorly on the situation right now. We also have to look at what other ways can be used to mitigate and really find solutions for the people of Turkana and across those places that are affected by the bad weather conditions.
You see, what you have said is exactly more or less what I have said in long statements.
Yes.
It is true. That's why I am east or west. Miriam, this goes back to one common factor.
Yes.
If the government is able to quell down the insurgents in MRC, if the government is able to quell down the insurgents in Mount Elgon,
yes,
as Defense
yes,
Liberation Army,
they're becoming very
the army
serious.
went there, cooled down.
Yes.
Why can't the government of Kenya move into West Pokot, take a stand, pacify? The word is pacification of Turkana.
Look for the funders.
Look for the funders, the gun trotters, the gun smugglers who are bringing guns from Ethiopia, who are bringing guns from Uganda. Why can't the government take a stand such that this place is accessible? What I'm talking to you, the people of Kenya today, mark these words, that tomorrow or the other day, you will remember my words. You might not be able to take that oil out of that place if you don't take this action and the punitive action on the area where thousands of guns are even in the hands of women as the age of 9 years. There are children of 9 years, girls with AK-47.
And it's very normal.
And she displays it to the cameraman.
Yes.
And after that, she disappears with the gun. Surely, this is 21st century. The government should take a stand and go and do this. We have a mobilized army, an efficient army, an efficient general service unit, an efficient police force that can curb. Don't commit human rights, no. Let's tell the people, face the bandits, because not all Turkanas are bandits. They are bandits that are known.
These are criminals.
The criminals that are making us not deliver the food by road.
Not fix the roads.
Not to reach the roads. Not even to reach those remote areas.
Even hospitals can't operate properly.
When journalists go to this remote area, how do they go?
They have to seek the support of the militia, actually. It
means that journalists also know where the militia are. For you to reach such a remote area and take a girl with AK-47 on her laps, you must have worked with the militia people. So such journalists should come back and give information to the government so that the government goes to surround that particular area and take the guns away. Other than this, Nanok will come to the television, tell us the story. He's very safely enjoying food in Nairobi, in big restaurants.
Air-conditioned homes.
Air-conditioned, no, good restaurants.
The heat is killing some Kenyans in
meeting
constituency.
Ministers in corners quietly. I don't know what the deal they are trying to start. I saw them somewhere. I'm very bad man when I see a person like that. Somewhere in a corner, I hope they are not making another dam disappear. You know? I feel so sad. When these things are happening, the government has given out the money. There are people there are people blaming the government. The government has sent out the money.
Just last week.
No, even the governors have money, emergency money.
They're given money.
Yes.
Turkana is given 14 billion per year.
So where has this man taken 14 billion shillings that he returns to Nairobi, seated in a K24, no KTN, with Sophia Wanuna showing us his shoes? You know, it is very bad.
With impunity.
Impunity. Telling us that this is what has happened. And you are the governor. You are the governor of that place. You expect Uhuru Kenyatta, who has already sanctioned the money. What role are you playing? Two, the government knew that the rain was going to come and the drought was coming. I want to ask you one question. Why did the government, why did the committee under the deputy president sit a week ago or 2 weeks ago when they knew this was coming to release this money? What does this money help now? People would be dead. People are dying. So what is where are we heading? If this is not pure sabotage, what do you call this?
It's madness. You wait until Kenyans die. You pretend as if you don't know this is a problem. We know between January, February, March, April, the parts of this country that go through this, that is something that has been happening. It's annual. It happens. We expect it to happen. And to wait for us to see Kenyans, their photographs circulated across the world, very dehumiliating in that manner. We see old men and women can't even stand from where they're seated, walking around naked and emaciated, kids and all that. It is not right, and it is the responsibility of any government to make sure the citizens are fed. So I would like to blame a bit of national government, but first of all, Nanok has to take responsibility, being that he's the leader of Turkana and these other counties that have been affected, and he knows this is a problem that affects his constituents. Every year, it is expected that drought and famine is going to be experienced in his part of the place that he leads. And you see, a county like a county like Turkana and also northeastern and much of eastern province have had years of neglect. Historically, they've been neglected a lot by even the previous governments. They've been really marginalized when it comes to matters of development and things like that. So when a person feels as though they're not really represented and they don't matter, that also can encourage them to even engage in things like the banditry and what we see right now, them holding guns and things like that, because they feel that I need to protect myself, I need to fend for myself. This government is not working for me. This government is not does not care about my welfare. So I think that the county government, yes, must be held responsible for this.
Yeah.
Escape as much as the
when
national
you have
government.
Marcelo Zamora,
Marcel, yes,
the Afrique, I think he comes from that, wherever he comes. He says he disagrees with us that it is not security. Then I think before I even go deeper to explain, you have missed the point. All these problems, why the water, why the food?
But what causes the insecurity? That is what we need to ask.
Yeah, and this is exactly what causes the insecurity.
Because I'm not
the number of guns,
and I'm hungry, and my neighbor there has enough, and I can't get it, and I feel they're acquiring it illegally.
Yes.
I'll go there and try to get it by
then
force.
we solve that problem that makes you have the guns, and this one doesn't have the guns.
Dr. The way you normally say, you can't talk to a hungry stomach, right?
Yes.
Yes. These people need to be fed. When they can have enough the way President Museveni did with the Karamojong, we need to find a food security in this country, and especially for these regions. It's something that the government needs to take very, very seriously, starting from the national government. Now that you're seeing the county government, especially from that area, is not doing much for its people.
I think, viewers, this is a wide topic.
Yes.
The only example that I want to give here is let the Kenya government benchmark with the Ugandan government to find out why Karamoja has become a productive area today, like it was not, as it was not 30 years ago. Why?
And it's very stable now.
And it's stable, and the people, governors from Kenya, go and have a drink. The governor of Elengoya Marakwet, West Pokot, Turkana, Baringo, they are relaxed in Uganda. While in the other place, their own home, there is a problem. The food can not be short if there was access to where you store the food. Wamarwa has told us there's plenty of food. Not that Kenya this time lacks food. Kenya has the food. But how do you deliver the food there? Is it security matter? Because you can't start driving your van. Like Sonko has been driving the van. I don't know whether he has reached.
I think he airlifted.
He airlifted or whatever.
Some of those areas are too.
Yes, why didn't he just carry? How much did he airlift? This is also populist.
Yes, a PR stand.
It's just a PR stand. Why don't they organize convoys that can take the food and put a battalion of army men?
Give it to Red Cross.
Yeah. No,
we don't give them money. We give them the food to take. They do that. They distribute. That they're good at.
Please, Red Cross,
not
no,
the
please.
Money. Not the money.
My sister, Red Cross, no. Coming up next is on the other line.
Yes.
On our external satellite.
Sister channel, yes.
External is, there are programs lining up there. And we want to thank them also. We want to thank the people of Abazonia for the struggle is going nicely. 27 men are not going to see any more United States of America. They will never step there, and the European Union will follow suit tomorrow. Those are good news that came from our struggle as media and as lobbyists. We have done our job, and this platform has given us that job, and which we have done. And on the question of how corruption has eaten Africa, I'll take it on Matanga Africa perspective this evening on my own, because she will be gone to school.
Yes,
no, she will be gone home.
I'll be going to my evening classes. It's okay.
Evening classes for another degree.
Education is important.
It's important.
Knowledge is power. But just before we leave, Dr. Matanga, John Clark just raising some issues here, and he's saying it may have with short of food, but don't think there are any proofs of dead due to hunger. I see health people offloading trucks with food, did not see any dead. John Clark, people died. We can't show dead bodies, but people died out of the hunger. So that has been recorded. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Just to set the record straight.
Mr. Ismail Masaba from Bali is asking a very cardinal question. He says, radio punchline, what are people saying about Uganda opening a very big dam? What are Kenyans saying?
Yeah, the one we were showing the other day,
yes,
on Friday.
Yeah, people is writing, and the people are saying it now. He says, what are people saying?
That's why I think the government should go benchmark in Uganda, maybe, when it comes to food security. Maybe they can borrow a few ideas to improve how we deal with our food security here in Kenya. Thank you so much.
I think what it shows, Uganda is efficient and administering, following. Museveni says, if you take the money for the dam, when I come next week, you don't return to your house. You know, the Museveni has that fury there. You don't return to your house. No. If you are an officer going to meet Museveni for a meeting, tell your wife that we might see each other when you come to see me in Ruzira, in the maximum prison.
Okay.
If you have a problem and the president has summoned you,
yes, for a meeting, just
start preparing that journey.
Okay.
Because in that meeting, what Museveni does, like the meeting of Windhoek, what Museveni would have done in Windhoek was to tell these ministers to return the briefcases and they go home. You know, not the flights, smaller flights. Yeah. It also, you know,
discipline.
That's what you are saying.
Discipline, yes.
Yeah.
If you're in charge, you must be in charge.
Moi used to tell this as you are having lunch in the hotel.
Can you imagine Moi?
And then tune in, and you know, some of these ministers of Moi used to work with pomp. Wake a radio, wait. Keep quiet, we want to listen to Muse. As you are listening to Muse, Muse is sacking you. So the people who are in the small bar laugh at you, said, Mister, you have been sacked.
You're jobless.
And as you are outside there eating, paying the bill, you see police Land Rover coming to take the flag, the gun, and the car away from you. That's how Moi managed Kenyans.
Yes.
Which was, you know, people might say there was no this, there was no this. Yes, democracy part was lacking. But in terms of development, you could see there was free milk.
I took the free milk.
Yes, you are the child of free milk product. But here now, the dam money is taken. Yes. Everything is taken. Not even free milk in the school. Laptop is not working. Everything, when you touch, someone has eaten a kickback already. What life do we have?
It's very sad.
So viewers, thank you very much for listening to us this morning.
Yes.
And this afternoon, those who are watching us, we shall be back. I will be back with Matanga Africa Perspective, discussing a topic which is very familiar, which we are not able to cover this morning because Miriam had quite a lot of. This is not me, it is Miriam who messed the program up. Yeah.
I'll take one for the team. We thank you so much for having kept us company the last 2 hours. Hopefully you can meet here again tomorrow for Good Morning Africa, another version, and we'll bring you the latest in what is happening in the continent.
Marcel Samon says he's not finished yet. Read his comment.
He's saying Kenyan leadership is full of majambazi who never think of their people, but soon we will kick these thieves out. We are tired. Thieves all over. Nothing more we should fear. After all, we are dying though, so we don't fear death anymore. We fight. We will fight them. Kenyan youth stand up. Yes, indeed. All right.
Pajeo said, when are you in London next?
Parejo, thank you.
Parejo, very soon. Maybe anytime I will be there.
All right.
Before the Brexit.
Before Brexit? Before June or April? June.
No, now, 29th. This week.
No, but they pushed it.
Yeah,
May was able to secure a
we secured, but people have to go in before the rains.
And have you seen the crowds that have been gathering in London?
But have you seen my wall?
On
the campaign
on Sunday, on Saturday, it was about 1 million people who
1.5.
And yesterday it was more.
Yes.
And the Article 50 revocation, the campaign now has garnered more than 5 million support. So it's really continued to increase, and it's the world is paying attention, and the world is watching to see what next for the British people.
Thank you very much, Ismail Masaba from Uganda. Mm-hmm. People are very, very happy with the performance of that dam. Mm-hmm. It is a classic dam. Mm-hmm. While here, the money that was supposed to build at least 2 was eaten. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I can tell you.
At least 2, all of them was eaten, even the ones for Red Cross. There's no results. I mean, everything has gone. We
had forgotten about the Red Cross. I used to love this guy of Red Cross, but I have begun. Why everything in Kenya goes wrong?
Yes.
Where did this Gulet start building hotels?
Enterprise.
Television station, to educate people over what?
Entertainment, music, hip hop, all that. No education. Just
there is no education in there of Red Cross programs.
News, no, I don't think so. It's just normal programming.
He's built it. Why did he go to
the commercial
enterprise? Mm-hmm. That's why people are not paying. They refused. And in fact, Kenyans this time, I thank you very much. I'm going to go to Facebook and thank you.
Yes,
you have done very well. This time, Kenyans, if you start that way,
accountability.
A man has failed to account for the money.
For our money.
Then he has built 2 hotels, one in Eldoret, one in
Nairobi.
Here,
very nice.
Another one for who?
Should tell us.
For Red Cross people to sleep there, or who? Why has it become a business-minded?
And that's
Red Cross setting was a heart-minded, not biashara.
It's non-profit.
Why? It has made Kenyans annoyed. I am annoyed. And anything that involves, you saw that Indian friend of ours yesterday on Citizen. Someone has said that Abbas Agulet owns property in Mogadishu.
Abdulaziz.
We don't want to make allegations until you give us proof.
Thank you.
So you saw the Indian operations director of Red Cross. He couldn't answer Jeff Koinange's questions.
We need accountability.
He couldn't. He couldn't tell me that a dam that has taken 100 million, that is it. The dam for 100 million shillings.
Did you see it?
Surely.
Did you see it? All right. Let's just say
Kenyans, please.
Before I lose it again.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
You send me off. Can you send me off?
I'll send you off, please. All right. We want to
go home.
We want to thank you, our viewers, and hopefully you can meet tomorrow here in the morning, but later on in the evening, 6 p.m. Kenyan time, Dr. Matanga will be back with Matanga Africa Perspective, and he'll be looking at the corruption and how much it has eaten into the continent of Africa. So please make a date. But for me right now, Miriam Ogutu, it is bye-bye.
And myself, she has given me permission to leave.
All right.
Bye.